Shorty give me neck till I pass out.
Pass out.
Yo, y'all, it's the Trapkast, man. All the Trapcasters are here. We got a great episode for y'all, man. We got something we call, it's just a really terrible situation. You know what I mean? We having hip hop, but we calling this Dead or in Jail, a young rapper's fate. It is terrible situation. I'm your boy Ferg. Y'all stick with us. We're gonna have a great episode. We're gonna talk about the likes of Pop Smoke. We're gonna kind of go into what happened there. We're gonna talk about Nipsey and everybody we kind of lost from getting murdered to going to jail to John from drug overdose. Man, we got our family here. I got my boy KD here today. What's going on, KD?
I'm in the building.
Woo!
Hey, that's all I got.
We got the boy G in the building.
What's good? It's your boy G.
And once again, I'm your boy Ferg, man. I love y'all, man. So, guys, you know what I mean? This is hip hop. And one of the things in hip hop is, hip hop kind of extends into this multiple genre of music, right? And so we kind of have these different levels of, celebration, and then also have these different levels of tragedy. And so one of the big things we see in hip hop these days are the loss of these young rappers. Like they say, hip hop is a young man's game, but a lot of times you say, how can it be a young man's game with all of these young men are getting taken away from us, right? So we're going to talk about, one of the first and one of the newest, or not one of the first, but one of the newest instances of this scenario, our boy Pop Smoke. And if you don't know about what kind of happened, Pop Smoke in Cali at the time, had a crib that he was renting out there. And a different scenario, the investigation is kind of still going on, but some dudes came in the crib. They don't know if it was a robbery or not yet. And they killed Pop Smoke, right?
Yeah.
They murdered him.
Rest in peace, Pop.
Rest in peace, Pop. You know what I mean? So this is a case of a young man that died while being in this hip hop game.
Yes.
So G, what are your thoughts about kind of like Pop Smoke? Like, how did you feel about the dude? Like,
oh man, Pop Smoke, man. He had just started popping, and I no pun intended, but
yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like his music, I really started listening to, and I really started liking him. And it's crazy how they say how he died. Like police trying to say that he might have knew the people because they was in the house, and that sucks, man. You blow up, you know what I mean, and some bullshit like this happens to you.
Yeah, and no, for me, man, I kind of got to learn. I was kind of up on Pop Smoke a little bit late.
Me too.
But I remember hearing as far as music, hearing the boy voice, I was like, damn, this nigga welcome to the port. I'm like, this boy, his voice just crazy. I don't even care what that nigga rap about. That nigga voice just that nigga, it just had you mesmerized and shit. Yeah. And so he was like a low key dude though, but you know what I mean? He was about his shit. He was in the streets, you know what I mean? He felt like he talked like one of them solid dudes, you know what I mean? He talk about I've dared people to, shoot me before, you know what I mean? They threaten me in this way, I'm gonna have to, handle mine. And so what sucks is this is a young man who's buzzing. And New York needed some guy like him, you know what I mean, changing up the style of music. It's kind of like the Chicago drill music, but it's more in that New York style. And so he gets himself, he out the hood now, but he dies out of the hood. He in California, living in this dope crib. He having a party, he happy, he bubbling out there. He doing music with the likes of Quavo. He hanging with Jay-Z. He meeting 50, which is one of his favorite artists. He hanging with Meek Mill all the time. There's pictures everywhere with him and Meek Mill. And he dies not in the hood, but in this lavish crib in LA. And you know what I mean?
That's stupid.
What the crazy. Fuck? And so one of the things is and it sucks, is that with hip hop, a lot of times the shit carries with you. it's so based. So many of the artists are based in an impoverished area. You know what I mean? You come from the gutter, so everything is still of the gutter, no matter where you go. And it's a scenario where, man, like, you know, some people think it's gang related and stuff like that, where a young man just went too soon. He was like, what, 20, 21 years old?
20 years
20
old.
years old. Like,
20 years fucking
popping,
old.
ready to blow. He had something
Couldn't
unique.
even buy a drink.
It couldn't even buy a drink, but he could get killed and murdered by some men. I know, KD, you didn't as much. You weren't up on pop like that, but like in general, you know, you talk about like young man in hip hop dying like this. Like, what are kind of your thoughts? How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I don't think hip hop is a game. I think hip hop is a culture, and our culture permeates to everybody. And I think hip hop uses the people of hip hop, the artists and the industry people, they use the artist's life and their background in hip hop, and it touches others because a lot of people can relate. And so, as far as this particular topic with him, I think honestly, bro, it's just tragic. It's so much that can be said, but I'm not articulate enough to say it.
You're doing fine.
But I just, you know, we have a lot of artists who are skating that thin line. We got Kendrick Lamar, we got Dirk, we got even Chris Brown. We got people that's like wanna be or not wanna be, but are in the lifestyle and that are in the industry that are pretty much advertising that lifestyle. And I just think it's tragic because that lifestyle can ultimately be in your demise. Like that can bring you to your demise. And it's very tragic. I know it looks cool. I know it has a factor of attraction that, you know, it is not, you know, to have that kind of, you know, persona makes you more, you know, appealing to a lot of people, including females and whatever. And I know it's highly promoted, but I just think it's too dangerous. You know, right now we have too many things that are important that we on the verge of losing. And, you know, I think, honestly, we need to come together and do a We Are the World type thing. I think we need to kind of get together. And
no, I hear you, man. Like, G, what did you think of his music? Like, I know you just heard, like, Welcome to the Party, and we'll get back to you, KD, see what you thought about the song itself.
I listened to his album multiple times, and I thought it was pretty dope. I mean, I continue to listen to it. It's just something, like I said, it's something about him just grab you. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's his voice or the way he rapping or what's going on, but it's something dope, and it needs to be. I hope it goes platinum.
Yeah, man. So for me, like it's interesting. Like he just got that like some people compare him to, but he got like that 50 vibe, like, but he got like a way better voice, but he got that same style, just like, you know what I mean, kind of party, you know what I mean, but he like low key and all that stuff. And I just enjoyed his shit. Like, it just kind of bumped for me, you know what I mean? And it's been a while since I felt that kind of like record where it's like, I'm not necessarily looking for it to be extremely lyrical. I'm looking for the shit just to bump on some kind of New York style. And so I felt this. So one of the things about his album is it just came out. 50 said he's going to executive produce the album and make sure that his wishes, I think he had wishes for like 50, if anything happened to him, 50, like make it happen for him. And so I don't know, what are y'all thoughts about that? You think 50 can make that thing pop?
Most definitely. 50 is like a real, he's a power. He's a real entity in the game. And I would really, you know, this will be, I think, another level that, you know, that could add to 50 if he go ahead and fulfill those wishes of, you know, the, Dilly the Party Brother. But it's shameful to me. I really don't like this being in this space because, you know, these got some brilliant people out here, very talented. And we losing them, man. We losing them. And by the handfuls. You know, it's kind of scary to look at TV these days because I don't want to see us going out like this.
Yeah, I like what 50's doing here. Like, you know, 50, he the best marketer. He knows the best sounds. Like, that's a nigga who gonna give you a banger. He can pick a record. He know what a record should sound like. Some people maybe like say, maybe not as recent. Nah, 50 know what a record should sound like. He know what is supposed to be good. And I just like how 50 is moving. Like, he just feel like a happier dude to me these last, like, especially like the last, like, you know, 6 months. Like, he just feel like a happier dude. And I like it. Like, G, what about you, man?
Yeah, I love it. He's Pop Smoke had wanted his mama to go to an award show, so 50 Cent pretty much said he gonna make it happen. You know what I mean? Also on his Instagram, he was saying like he got Roddy Ricch to be on the album. Of what he gonna executive produce.
Yep.
Which is gonna be dope.
That's
and
crazy.
He also I don't know.
Shout out to Roddy.
I guess he gonna try to get a whole bunch of hot artists, which is man, if he get like Drake or Eminem, man, just think about what that album would do.
He getting Meek already.
50 turning into Quincy Jones.
Yeah, he gonna get Quavo. He arguably he might have always been a Quincy Jones. He gonna get Quavo. Him and Quavo, like Pop Smoke said, him and Quavo got like maybe like 8 songs or something like that. They literally could come out with a Pop Smoke Quavo album.
Wow.
But he was rocking with all of the sides like that, from the South to Philly to the West Coast. He was rocking with dudes like that. He was just really a dude who didn't give a fuck where you from. He wanted to learn. One thing, he just wanted to learn. And he really respected how Quavo like did his work. Yeah. Like he was like really impressed by that dude. So I just like the kid. When I saw him in interviews and shit like that, I just really liked him. So in the same way I kind of like Lil Baby. Like, this dude, he kind of like, he's somewhat low key, but he about his shit. He ain't gonna take no disrespect, but he's also gonna respect people that should be respected. So hey man, rest in peace to Pop Smoke, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, he's not the only person that we kind of lost here recently. We got a brother by the name of Nipsey Hussle.
No, that shit deep for me.
That we lost last year. How you feel about that, KD?
I mean, I just feel like, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing this to the forefront. We do need to recognize the people that we are losing like in droves,
Yep.
And I think it's a good idea to have this type of time to reflect on that. But Nipsey, man, Nipsey was a community activist foremost. He was actually trying to be the catalyst for change. Not only was his rap and was his lyrics, super dope, but they had so much meaning to it, and I went through some of his catalog because he has such a big catalog that I was not even aware about. I was late. I came in 2018, Nipsey. I didn't come into the 2015 and when he was, just bubbling. And I just realized that this man, he went from like gang banging rap, old West Coast, gang banging stuff to like he's like making a difference. He's like telling people how to better themselves, how to elevate your game, how to be self-employed, how to not be, how to be independent. His message totally changed and elevated. And, and it was, his whole life meant a lot to a lot of people. It wasn't just like, I'm a big time Crip, I'm a big time game maker. He's like, no, man, I'm going to not only be a big time dad, I'm going to show you how to free yourself. I'm going to show you how to be a better person. I'm going to live it. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to provide a way for everybody, for a lot of people to do it. And that is such a big platform to build on one person, and he did it. He absolutely did. He saw himself doing it, and he absolutely did it. And that, to me, speaks volumes versus all these people that's in the streets, all these people that's in the industry who just want to show the bounty of becoming successful. No, he wanted to actually try to free his people, man. He wanted to show everybody how to break the bonds of poverty, break the bonds of being oppressed. I mean, he just had a lot more meaning to me than this rap, even though his shit is stupid though. I just, I have a personal, affinity for him, and I'm really sad that he's gone, but I thank God that at least he walked the earth for as long as he did, and he has something that I can go back and listen to, because even though I'm late, I'm very late, but I do respect, I think he really gave some true light to what our plight is as Black people, or what our plight is as working everyday blue collar people across the world. He tried to live the life. He tried to explain to the corporate America and all the people who don't live our life what it was. And he's trying to explain to us that we can do better. And he's going to try to make a way for us to do better, because it's very hard out here. And it's very difficult for people to make that change. But he's saying it can be done, and he's saying he will be done. He was trying to not only do that, he was going to make a way for others to do it, so it won't be so many roadblocks. And that's all I got on there, man.
Yeah, man. So on the music side, that was well said, KD.
Yeah.
On the music side, like, people don't recognize how innovative he was. Like, obviously, one of the things is just running his ship independently, grinding to make things happen for himself and his family. But they forget about like how he did. One of the things he did was his distribution.
Yep.
Where he created the record that was like crazy price. I think it was like $100 per CD or whatever.
Yeah.
And like he ended up selling like, I think Jay bought like a crazy amount of, maybe it was like $1,000, but Jay bought like 10 of them shits or 1,000 of them shits. Yeah. And like he was like, who this dude? And then what he understood is that not only it was a marketing tool, but like literally he's creating a way to like fund his like, you know, future.
Yeah.
And so in addition to that, you know, the brother was definitely a great mediator. People don't know like him helping to squash the situation between Meek and the Game. Like he told the Game like, yo, bro, Meek ain't that guy. Like he ain't no fuck nigga. He trying to like be good with things. And he was explaining the Game. Game didn't want to hear it at first. But then Meek ended up calling him when he called the Game while he was in jail and telling him, you know, apologizing for certain stuff. He's like, man, I ain't mean it this way, stuff like that. But Nip mediated that. Nip always embraced, you know, his fellow man, definitely in the West Coast, you know what I mean? But he was also a man. He'll slap your ass if you disrespected him.
And it's documented.
I mean, yeah, that's documented. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what, as men, that's what we like. That's one of the reasons we're not going to get into this guy, but that's one of the reasons why we love Kobe Bryant, is that you can not only be a man, a generous man, a kind man, but you also be a man that demands respect. Yeah. And that's what it's about, being a true man. So, and then his progression as a family man, like he talked about his struggles with him and like Lauren and like getting it together, and he kind of messed up, and but he put that shit together, got his family back together, and treated that woman like a queen, like she should be. So you gotta embrace that man. He was just a good dude, and he was just a model man's man. You know what I mean? Yes. So we like that. G, you have any thoughts on that? I know we've been talking long about Nip, so.
Pretty much what Katie said, man. He's seemed like an amazing man from out the West Coast, and what he did for his community, which is pretty much inspired everybody else to do in that community, like buying that shopping center from his brother. Oh my gosh, it's just so dope, man. I just love it.
The marathon continues, bro. Rest in peace to Nip, man. We love you, bro. We know we didn't know you, but like we just love you as a man. Like, you know, you can have that. I can't say like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm dying over Nip stuff because I didn't know the man, but I really, really respected him as a man and his moves that we saw.
Legacy.
Legacy. So we had two brothers, you know, young brothers that, you know, died, you know, who got murdered. And then this next young brother, drugs took his life. And we talking about Mac Miller.
Rest in peace, my brother.
Rest in peace to Mac Miller. So for me, Mac Miller, man, like he's just a cold ass white boy, man. Like
they out there.
Yeah. I just really fuck with him. And like I love, like, if you look at his progression, like he, you know, dude from Pittsburgh, like he had the song that was kind of like popish or whatever, but like people knew that he was buzzing, and he was hanging with niggas that like normal niggas that was like pop white dude wasn't hanging out with. He hanging out with like Ninth Wonder and doing videos with Rhapsody. He hanging out with TDE before they really popping. Joey Badass and Tyler the Creator, like, and everyone, if you hear them talk, everyone says this kid is the kindest dude that you can know. He had an amazingly big heart. He always seemed happy. And then in addition to that, like, the nigga can make some music. Like, that nigga was, he was killing the game. He even heard that song right there, how soulful it was. But he could put together a great record. And so, you know, unfortunately, what we also have in this industry, and for a while it was being vastly promoted by other rappers, is the whole drug shit.
Drug use.
The drug use, being a drug user. And Mac was a heavy drug user, a drinker.
Fighting
the demons. And so, in this case, the brother got a bad batch. And he never woke up again one day. And so, and the drug dealer basically gave him some shit that wasn't the real shit, and they killed him. So I mean, Mac to me, he just was a great artist to me. I thought he just made amazing music, and he just seemed like a great dude. And so I had a lot of respect for his ability to not give a fuck or not give a shit and do what he wanted. Like a white boy doing like this soul rap shit is crazy. And so I don't know what are you guys' feelings about Mac, or was you really up on Mac like that or not?
No, I was somewhat listening to Mac. I wasn't too deep into it, but you know, I also love some of the songs he made, like The Weeknd and some other songs that I listen to daily, pretty much, because he just put me in the mood of relax and just take it easy.
What about you, Katie?
I listen to his music. Couple albums, Small World, I think, and a lot of his mainstream big popping stuff. And I looked at a couple of documentaries. I seen him on Tiny Desk and stuff.
That was hot.
I just think he has a transcendent flow, man. He's an elite lyricist. He like on that. He can keep you sharp if you are a GOAT, you know. And I really respect, you know, I do agree with you when you said it is documented how kind he was. This whole drug addiction thing is really real out here, from Whitney Houston to River Phoenix to Jimi Hendrix to, you know, DMX. It's out here and it's a real issue. You know, it's crazy. And like Kurt Cobain's is like, it sounds cool to say it, but it's really not, man. When somebody's addicted to something like that, it's glorified, but it's honestly, it kills a whole family, man. You know, and I just pray for all the people who are going through that and fighting it. It's impacting everybody in all genres and all stratospheres. And I just hope that, you know, his family is healing. But I love Mac, man. His shit is dope. And he's another one that we lost, bro. I consider him a brother because he was just one of those people that was in the pocket. He's like, yo, I can rap. Let's get it. And then he was just all about it. And he's very talented. He's one of those virtuoso type that can do it like it was nothing. And he was just great, free-hearted type person. So.
Yeah, and like you said, man, like, you know, no one's family is immune to this whole drug shit, right, man? Like, everyone is affected, from the rich to the poor. You got guys from, like, you know, Michael Jackson to Prince to, you know, freaking soccer mom, billionaire wives to, you know what I mean, are all with this, like, you know, opioid epidemic and all this shit, man. So drugs, and you know, it's not limited to hip hop, but we had a period of time, and it's kind of slowed down, where the whole promotion of, like, you know, drugs was like a thing, and that shit is not cool no more. We are saying that shit is not cool. Do what you do, but you ain't gotta say like, oh, this shit is amazing. Like, I love it. Like, fuck that shit, man. Do what you do, but like, you don't have to bring it out like that. So. We got another young man that was murdered from Florida. It's kind of like a polarizing scenario here, because this young man was like, he was iffy. He was iffy in the beginning. We talking about XXX Tentacion. You know, people was hating him. You know, they talk about the scenario where he like, you know, possibly had this situation where he, you know, hurt one of his girlfriends. That's alleged. But you got a man who dealt with some issues, who was very open about them. He was very open about his insecurities. He was very open about his, like, mental health issues and shit. Like, he was really, really, really open. That's what really attracted me to him, like how open he was and how open he was about changing and improving himself. That's one of the things I really gravitate to, is like, because I have this thirst to, like, always improve myself. And so it gives me a great feeling. So I can tell he wanted to improve himself. And to me, he was doing that. He was changing himself as a man. He became a lot more positive. Although, you know, depression never dies. He was dealing with it every day, but he was becoming a more positive person. He's starting to make money. You know, he's less beefing with people. And now he's like, you know, trying to, you know, spend his money, enjoy the fruits of his labor. And, you know, one day he just goes out, he's looking at some bikes and stuff like that. And, you know, some dudes decided, oh, damn, they probably see the cars, like, oh, this nigga got something. And they decided to take that shit from him. And they killed him. Killed him in his car, dead, just You know what I mean? Now, one of the things I hate about this particular scenario, and it's an issue that's going on in the media in general when it comes to famous people dying, is how they showed XXX. Like they had close-ups of him laying in dead in his car. They had all type of shots of him like laid out. It's just that shit was not cool. And a lot of it came out pretty early. A lot of times with these publications like TMZ, that shit is coming out before families even know that people are dead, a la Kobe. And so one of the things I like about this kid is he was young, but he realized he had issues and he wanted to fix them. And he was actively every day trying to fix them. What are y'all guys' thoughts on XXX?
XXX, I didn't, in the beginning, I must admit, I didn't really care for XXX.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To my niece, she like put me, oh, he's my favorite. He's this and that. I started listening to him. Then I saw you once post this song about XXX. Like, this is a soulful dude, man. Y'all got to listen to him. Yeah. I started listening to him. I was like, damn, I feel him. You know what I mean? That type of music, like, he made like depression, like music, like what he's going through. And I feel that type of shit.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a great artist, and I'm just sad that he didn't get to enjoy the fruits of his labor, you know, because I felt like he was getting much better. Yeah.
He was definitely getting much better. Katie, was you on XXX?
Not really, but as I'm listening to y'all, his story is almost like Purple Rain.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like he was fighting his demons, and he probably saw a lot of things that he was probably acting out. He probably saw it. And
he had definitely a terrible or a bad parental situation. Yeah. So it definitely affected him in his later life.
And so I mean, it's tragic that he's not the only case, and a lot of the people that we mentioned, there's so many cases out there that are documented and not documented. About people who are going through similar things, and I just I think there need to be more resources. I really fault our government and our media for not, advertising or promoting resources to get help. It's only when a certain demographic or a certain, social economics genre is impacted is when it's like mainstream support, garnered for that particular issue. But I wish it was more support for people who are going through that, because it is tragic, and we are losing a lot of talented people, and it's not okay. It's like we just walk it off, It's like it was just we just mentioned it for a few days, few weeks, few months, and then it's like, okay, next, on to the next.
Yeah, we get numb to it, man.
Yeah. So we haven't talked about this scenario yet. Not only are we losing, these young rappers from being murdered, shot down, gunned down, some of them in their own hood, some not. Not only are we losing these young brothers from the drug game, drugs, we're also losing them to jail. And Bobby Shmurda, young boy, that boy had a hard record, man. Like, that shit went on social media crazy. And he got the dance. He was just killing them. He just and that was a throwback, almost like a two-step. He was killing them with that, And so the record was crazy. The young brother worked hard, but he was also, he was a member of, a group. Some of them call them gangs. And
what were you gonna say?
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff transfers over. A lot of times you can't leave your past, or they won't allow you to leave your past.
Right.
And that's what the cops did. They kept investigating these kids, and they were like, okay, these the motherfuckers who did such and such and did such and such. They could have, Bobby Shmurda, they get arrested, at the height of their they're about to pop and blow up, man. And him and his boys go to jail. And they're still in jail today. He's supposed to get out pretty soon, but the young brother, man, I think it's one of those cases where it's extremely unfortunate. And jail doesn't rehabilitate most men. And so I just hope that when he gets out, he's able to like continue his progression into the ranks of the guys who can make those really great records. And I hope that he can just continue to just really kill it, man, when he gets out in this world. Like, what are y'all thoughts? Just go real quick on Bobby.
Bobby, shoot. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to get out pretty soon. I don't know how soon. I think it's this year, right?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be this year.
Yeah, but when he get out, I think he's gonna pick up where he left off. He's gonna continue to do his thing. I mean, he ain't been out too long before he went to prison. That's hard, you know what I mean?
It was quick.
Yeah.
But it was it was like boom, boom, like it was just crazy.
Yeah, so I don't really know too much about Bobby, but shit. He had a couple songs that was pretty hot to me.
New York Cat.
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
I think once he just brought, as you were talking, another person came to my ODB, but I think he's kind of following the same line. I just pray that he just stay out of it. If he can, I hope they put him somewhere like Mexico where he's not around. Sure. Not Mexico, but somewhere like Arizona. Because once you go back in the environment, you back into it. I think if he just don't do the Jim Jones shit going back into it. But I think he can make bangers. I think like he's in there, he's probably honing his craft. He probably probably got some albums in the can. I think he's gonna do all right once he get out.
Yeah. He just gotta stay from them street niggas.
Get out,
I think he may have learned his lesson, man. I hope so. But he did his time like a champ, and hopefully he gets out and he's killing it again. Yeah. All right, so next up, Juice WRLD. There's another brother who died. It's a really interesting situation, man. Brother in a plane, going to eventually do a performance, or actually he may have been on vacation. I guess somebody said that he possibly may have drugs on the plane. When he lands, they end up searching his shit. He ends up swallowing some dope, opioids. Yeah. And that ends up causing a seizure that kills him. And that's just crazy because the boy, once again, popping. Amazing music. Young kids are fucking loving him. He gonna kill a game. He look like he the next one. And he's gone. Another young brother. Unfortunately, a black brother. But it's always unfortunate when it's a human being in general. Yeah. But it always hits you different when you are also black yourself and you also lose another young black brother.
Your people.
Yep. And so I really like this kid, man. He just had really good music. It had a certain style to it, and it was just smooth to me. What about you, G?
I mean, the more we keep on talking about these people dying, man, it's just blowing my mind. This shit is crazy, man. From drugs to murder. I mean, but Juice WRLD, man, he was something different. I just love that type of music he did, and it hit you just like XXX, which was pretty much one of his favorite people was XXX Tentacion.
Yeah,
and I'm just tired of that shit, man. And the more we talk about it, it just hit me different every time we talk about a different person.
Like Marvin Gaye type shit.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, we really losing this amount of young brothers to.
If you start calling names, it just keep going.
And this is just hip hop.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll past this, and Katie, I want to get your thoughts on another brother we lost. This is a really controversial brother, and G, you brought this guy up before. You want to tell the people who?
Nah, you go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
As a young brother with some rainbow hair.
I knew it. Actually, I think his plight is kind of tragic.
It is.
He was a person, and
tell the people who we're talking about.
6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. And when you say rainbow hair, he should just brand it. I think honestly, if he want to get some money going, just say rainbow hair, because when you cannot not mention him if you think about rainbow hair. I think he should keep it when he gets out. I honestly think he should be very careful how he walks. I think he should still do rap. I think he should come back and bust it open. I mean, if people like Ice-T can go from cop killer to playing a cop on NYPD, I think it can be. I think it can really happen. It's just gonna be a process. I just think he need to probably stay out the country for a second. Snitching, he's not the only snitch out here. Period. I want to say that once again. Tekashi 6ix9ine is not the only snitch out here.
There's
period.
Tons of the rats out there.
Of rats. So please, everybody focusing on this one rainbow hair rat, but there are a lot of other kinds of rats out here that are doing it in a major way. So I would like to say, everybody hold your horses on the snitching for that guy. Give him the same energy y'all giving these other little rats who out here ratting. Let him, I would say give him a pass. He ain't had no, I think he just misguided. He wanted the opportunity. He a little Mexican guy around a bunch of black guys. And, he was a good marketing tool. I think he was used. I think some of it was his fault. He kind of got drunk on the little cloud a little bit too much, but who wouldn't? If you got that kind of money, if you got that kind of exposure, you get all the women, you poor, you busting tables, and somebody presents you with an opportunity, who's to say I wouldn't do it? I wouldn't color my hair because I ain't got no hair, but but that whole snitching and trying to come down on him for everything. I mean, are we going that hard on Eric Holder? Yeah. Are we going that hard on some other snitches that's been out here snitching? I don't want to disrespect them, but it's some real people that we revere that's snitched, and nobody really. I mean, do your research. There's some people out here that we still rock with that snitched. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm not rocking with Tasha from Power Today, snitching on ghosts and shit.
But we gonna ride with Tasha, but we know she snitched.
She a snitch.
Yeah. So I think honestly, with my whole thing, and I know I talk too much, Ferg, and I apologize.
No, it's okay. Keep it rolling, man.
But I think we should give him a temporary pass. We should see what he does. Let him make it right. Because we got some people out here doing that shit in a major fucking way, snitching, acting crazy, and we allowing it. We allowing them motherfuckers. Like, I don't trust. I'm sorry, Jesse Jackson. I don't trust. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I think they snitches. I don't know. I think they working for the man. I don't trust people like certain people that I don't want to be tracked down by the government, because I honestly feel that way. We allow snitches in our community, and he's not the only one. It's just that he's the most recognizable one. But I think he can come out here and do his thing. I think he was bumping when he went out. He can be back bumping again. I think he just need a shot. I just think he don't need to fuck it up. And I'm done.
Well, Bobby, man, hey, I hope you get it together, man. I hope you come out, do what you need for your family. You got kids, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I know some hood dudes not gonna fuck with him, but there's gonna be people that fuck with him. There are people that's gonna give him a chance. And and they shouldn't be chastised for that. Yeah. I think he had some great skills at marketing himself, and I think the kid was smart. He just got into an unfortunate situation with some people that he decided to roll with.
And Bobby snitched. If you look at remember Bobby, my caught a body about a week ago.
But he snitched on himself. That's not a snitch. I mean, you could cop on yourself. Like you can tell.
But his homeboy got banged up on that too.
But his homeboy didn't get banged up on that. He got banged up on something else.
A relatable thing. But
so like he
not to say that Bobby. I'm not saying Bobby don't. I don't want no smoke, bro. We know your name is Bobby Shmurda for a reason.
And I don't know if that body is what actually got him. There was some other stuff that got them. A lot of times in rap, some dude may say caught a body and never shot anybody ever. But
true.
Let's roll on to the next one. We're going to a little nostalgia right here.
Yeah.
Two brothers, Biggie and Tupac. Boom. The time, East Coast, West Coast in the 90s. This was a fucked up time. Like, it was a fucked up
What was
time.
it? 90?
Shit, like
2, 3? Was it 3 or 5? No, it was like late 90s, like 97. 97. Like 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Freaknik time.
Yeah, it was definitely that time. I remember I was like in my room when my mom told me Biggie died.
Sitting up in your room.
Wasn't quite like that. Wasn't happy like that. But, we know what happened here, man. It was just two young men just like, and one young man who wasn't really trying to be about this, and Biggie, like he wasn't really fucking with like that shit, and Tupac, just a young man, just trying to find his way. You know, we get into this whole East Coast, West Coast beef. There are people going against each other, battling. Two friends eventually become what seems to be enemies. And eventually, them not even killing each other, other people outside killing them. You know, Tupac getting shot multiple times. And then eventually, people say after altercation, after a fight, he gets shot while with Suge. And then Biggie, on the other hand, the same, being in LA also, coming from a club, gets shot. There's been some bubbling about this again with Mace and everybody. There's speculations and all this shit. It's just bullshit. But these two men, y'all don't realize Biggie and Pac were in their 20s when they died.
Young man.
Like mid-20s,
very young.
Like 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah. Very young. We think of them like, oh, they had this like crazy music. They had like, you know, they talked about all these like very crazy, like really great, like mature subjects. They were young men. And these two brothers got, you know, one, they died by murder. And it's once again unfortunate. This is what I'm showing here is this has happened throughout the era of hip hop. It's been consistent, and it's been consistent in, you know, hoods that a lot of these young men are from. So what we got to figure out is like, how do we change this, man? Like, how do we? I think it starts in those communities. I think you really have to change one thing. People don't realize, like, we didn't create these hoods that so many of these young black men are from. We didn't want that shit. But they're the powers that be that run this fucking country that force that shit. Yeah. They force that scenario. Yeah. Dog eat dog. You know what I mean? Not only are we going to push you into these neighborhoods, we're going to make it so you can't get the same jobs as I can. Yeah. And we're going to pull out anyone who has money in these neighborhoods so you can't make money for yourself. So you then go to a life of crime. You can't get a job nowhere. So I got to go to a life of crime. And your victims are your own people. Because as soon as you go outside of that, you're either going to be murdered, lynched, or thrown in jail. Yeah. And so I think that's where it starts, man. We have to keep pouring more efforts in those communities, giving these kids a reason to feel positive about themselves, positive about their future. And then we can kind of change not only the actions that happen outside those communities later in their life, but you can even change the content. Like, motherfuckers is always talking about, like, they're talking about guns, drugs, blah, blah, blah. This is what they're seeing. This is happening every fucking day in their neighborhood. What the fuck do you expect? They're telling their story. If you don't like the story, then change the scenario, the situation for them. So I don't know if you got like some quick words on that. Like, how can we kind of help these brothers, man? No. You think are good?
Well, no, I mean, for me, it's all about just healing, man. And I also think, you know, when you get an opportunity, seize the opportunity, change your circle, change your life, and you can change your narrative. Basically, I know it's easy to say, and I just, you know, it all boils down to making the right decision every day. If you consciously try to put all your efforts into making the right decision, I think honestly you have a better chance of changing your narrative, changing your life and your destiny. It's very difficult. I do agree with you, Ferg, when you say that, you know, it's the powers that be that have designated districts or zones where you can only be put there, and within those zones there are no resources. There are no, you know, fitting, you know, opportunities other than crime and maybe some stuff that won't result in you being a good citizen or being able to get a job or make yourself better. So that's all I got on that, man. Just keep trying every day.
Look, I know this episode was an interesting one. It could feel like it was like a little, like, you know, sad a little, but like it's something that need to be talked about. These individuals need to be talked about. The good things that they did, their legacy that's left with us right now. So we kind of wanted to give their roses, although, you know, a lot of times we weren't able to give them their roses while they were here. But we're going to give them their roses now. Yeah. So look, man, we love y'all, man. Stay up. Stay true to yourself. It's the end of the episode. I want y'all to subscribe. Click the button right there. Watch some of the other episodes we got going on. We actually talked about the coronavirus at one point, so that's a lot less sad, you know what I mean? A little more funny, but we love y'all, man. We thank y'all for rocking with us. Subscribe. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Peace. They calling me.
Yeah. Come on.
Yo, y'all almost forgot. Shout out to the boy Wrld the Great. I promised him I would shout him out in this episode. Young new artist trying to get his stuff popping in the streets. He sent me this new joint called Good Mood. I think it's fly, boy. So in the comments, I'll post his music. Y'all should check it out. And remember, subscribe to the channel. Get us to 1,000 subscribers. Peace. Trapkast. They calling me.